Hello fellas. Welcome back to Top 5 Choices. This is Haley from Top 5 Choices, and I hope you all are doing good. In today's video, I am going to do a detailed review and pick the top 5 best budget camera, 2022. After doing proper researches, we came to the conclusion that meets the best in terms of overall. Kindly leave a like if you find this helpful, and I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications if you haven't. We will be also providing affiliates link to purchase from Amazon. Kindly use it for best offers and purchase from anywhere in the world. We'll be back with more videos. The new EOS Rebel T7 is one of the smaller DSLRs on the market. It weighs 1.75 pounds, with the battery and SD card, and measures 5.1 by 3.9 by 3.1 inches. The grip is wrapped in textured rubber for a solid and comfortable handhold. The T7's body is otherwise mostly plastic, but the modest build quality is not surprising given the camera's price. The camera's pop-up flash covers a distance of up to 30 feet, but it's most effective if your subject is within 15 feet. If you need more light, you may want to pick up an external flash. Flash exposure compensation is available for the in-camera and accessory flashes and comes in handy if you need to adjust the exposure. Both the optical viewfinder and the 3-inch LCD are relatively bright and clear, though the display is fixed and lacks a touchscreen. During testing, I didn't miss either feature, but if they're important to you, check out the $800 Canon EOS Rebel T7i kit, which has both features, among other upgrades, and an 18 to 55mm lens. Canon's EOS Rebel series has long been a favorite of those who want an affordable but capable DSLR. The T7 continues to deliver good image quality for a camera in its class. Under well-lit conditions, the camera consistently produced pleasing results, almost guaranteeing success straight out of the box. The Fujifilm X-T200 is an inexpensive mirrorless camera that uses the company's X-mount. It replaces the X-T100, a camera that seemed promising when it was announced, but whose sluggish performance was a letdown. Thankfully, Fujifilm has put a lot of work into making the X-T200 both more responsive and full-featured. The X-T200 has a hybrid autofocus system with 425 phase detection points on the sensor. There are 3 AF area modes from which to choose: single point, the size of the AF point is adjustable, zone and wide/tracking. An additional all option lets you switch between them using the rear dial while selecting a point. When in single AF mode, the wide/tracking option is your standard let the camera choose multi-point mode. Focus points can be selected using the touchscreen or joystick. You can set the joystick so that when it's pressed inward, it will zoom in to the current focus point. The X-T200 also offers focus peaking, under the MF Assist option in the menu, with your choice of colors and intensities. Naturally, the X-T200 offers face and eye detection. In our very informal testing, we found that it detects both faces and eyes quickly, even if the subject is wearing glasses, and keeps the subject in focus, even if they turn their head. If the detected face is blocked momentarily, the camera will jump right back to it as soon as the offending object is out of the way. The Canon EOS M50 Mark II is a puzzling one. It's a feature-rich camera by itself, but most of those specs are already available on the original EOS M50, with only a few added benefits to indicate it's an updated model. The M50 Mark II is identical to its predecessor, both internally and externally. What's new is all software-based and could be of great significance to up-and-coming content creators. There's the added benefit of eye detect autofocus for both stills and video, and the ability to shoot vertical videos for social media platforms. Another advantage the M50 Mark II offers over the older camera is a new video recording button available on the touchscreen, and a movie self-timer that gives you between 2 to 10 seconds to prepare yourself before the camera starts to record. If you happen to have over 1,000 YouTube subscribers, the M52 will also allow you to wirelessly live stream to YouTube. While its video prowess looks good on paper, the M52 suffers from the same heavy 1.5x crop for 4K video as its predecessor, and also uses a slower phase detect autofocus system that can be an issue if you're recording fast-moving subjects. Although the camera's IAF isn't as fast as, say, the Canon EOS R6, it is quite good for a camera that's been labeled as an entry-level model and works well for stills and 1080p video. It's a bit hit and miss while shooting in 4K. The Olympus OMD EM10 Mark IV is the entry-level model in the company's DSLR-style lineup of micro Four Thirds cameras. The pen models, such as the EPL10, are rangefinder style. It's a step up from the beginner-focused EPL series, offering more controls, better build quality and a broader feature set. It sports a 20MP 4/3 sensor, in-body image stabilization, flip-down touchscreen with a simple interface and 4K video capture. Olympus swapped out the tilting display on the EM10 III for one that flips down 180 degrees for taking selfies. Unfortunately, the downward tilting design means the display is either blocked by or potentially even fouled by both tripods and selfie sticks, so framing handheld is your only option. When the 3-inch, 1.04 million dot display is flipped down, the camera switches into a selfie mode, which puts virtual shutter release, movie capture and brightness, exposure comp buttons on the screen. There's also a button that turns on a 2-second self-timer that takes 3 photos in a row, and in auto mode, a new one-touch e-portrait button that yields artificially smoothed, plasticky-looking skin. A useful addition is USB charging, something that has been missing from lower-end Olympus cameras for far too long. It takes hours to fully charge the battery, but being able to top up on the road is a must-have these days. We wish Olympus still included an external charger. Olympus has also added a new Live View Boost mode that can make both focusing and framing in low-light conditions much easier. The EM10 III's Live View Boost function merely boosted viewfinder gain, but on the EM10 IV it can optionally reduce the frame rate significantly, as well. This allows a significantly brighter viewfinder image, at the expense of some jerkiness. Under a plastic door on the bottom of the camera you'll find the EM10 IB's battery and memory card compartment. The memory card slot supports high-speed UHS-2 cards, a pleasant surprise for a camera in this price range, and you can tell by how quickly it clears its buffer. The OMD EM10 IV uses the venerable BLS-50 lithium-ion battery. The CIPA estimate for battery life is 360 shots per charge using the LCD. Numbers with the viewfinder are not published, which is above average. In most situations you'll be able to take more photos than advertised, though frequent Wi-Fi use may cause the opposite. The Nikon D3500 is a 24-megapixel entry-level DSLR with an APS-C CMOS sensor that is cheaper, lighter, and has a longer battery life than the D3400 that it replaced. It was designed with the new photographer in mind and features a guide mode that will essentially teach you how to shoot in various situations. The D3500's guide mode puts it into an easy-to-use space in the market. This mode makes it easy to tell the camera what kind of scene you are trying to capture and essentially teaches you the basics of photography, such as shutter speed, aperture and exposure compensation along the way. This is a camera that a brand new photographer can pick up and start making decent pictures without a steep learning curve. Face detection AF only works in live view mode, where the rear screen is used to frame up your photo, instead of the viewfinder, and although it reacts quickly in sunny conditions, indoors it got laggy, seemed to have trouble keeping up. There is no touchscreen functionality on the 921K LCD screen, which can be a little frustrating if you're used to shooting mirrorless or with a phone. Another unfamiliar, but minor, annoyance could be that the optical viewfinder only covers 95% of the frame. It's pretty standard for an entry-level DSLR like this, but means it's hard to precisely judge what is and isn't in the edges of your photo. The camera's image quality is beautiful on the low end of the ISO range and just fine up to about IS of 6400. On the higher end of the range things start to deteriorate. We didn't love the amount of noise that we were seeing on files shot at ISO 12800. The battery life on the D3500 is amazing, though. It will effectively last for days at a time if you shoot through the optical viewfinder, longer than its predecessor or mirrorless cameras. You can't charge over USB, which is disappointing, but during our time with the camera we didn't even notice a percentage drop on the battery.